Good afternoon, YouTube. Making this video in response to the EU's decision to legalize abortion. This is a sad day for me. There's a lot of things that are happening in society that are actually contradicting what used to be true human prosperity in this world. I did some of the research and I found that there are roughly 121 million unintended pregnancies occurring throughout the year between 2015 and 2019. Of these unintended pregnancies, 61% ended in abortion. This equates to 73 million abortions per year. So times 4, and I'll be sure to get it correct here. You're looking at 292 million babies killed. Potential babies, or babies we don't know when they decided to abort. We presume they aborted before 25 weeks, but I hope that was the case. Some of them abort, I heard, even up to 11th months, so the 11th month. Everything that we're doing is a destruction of the original sacred obligation and human truth, human way of being, to create a family, that very noble sacrificial cause, in favor of no discipline, no limit to the human capacity nowadays to make things extremely comfortable and live for nothing but their own pleasure. Because abortions have now been legalized in the EU, it will cause people to be even more reckless with unplanned pregnancy, and it will take away the sanctity of a couple joining together for the purpose of making a family. Why am I telling this to you? It affects me very deeply because I keep thinking about the callous nature in which today's values, the society in general in the Western society doesn't put much emphasis or value upon the nuclear family. The desire for women to have children, to sacrifice their careers, their comfort, their future for the purpose of having children. Instead, we have radical feminization, radical feminists, which greatly pollute and corrupt the true purpose, the most noble purpose, the only thing that a female human being can perform is, and nobody else can perform that power, is the power to give life. And to have a woman consent to killing her own child is a grievous sin, no less than murder, and more terrible because it is a murder of the most intimate kind, murdering your own child. No matter how you want to look at it, I look at these groups that gather, they say it's my body, it's my choice, but the truth is that once the child is conceived, it's brand new DNA. It's not her body, it's another body that her body is currently caring for, and a completely new, unique DNA sequence. people come to me and they say, oh, we have many, many reasons to go for abortion. We have rape, most of all. That power is not for human beings to tamper with. We should have some humility in our time and understand that there are certain things that is not to be tampered with. The power of life and death is not for us to decide. That power should only remain with God. And the reason why it should remain with God is that man lacks the mankind, women and men, all of us, lacks the capacity to know, to see all ends. What if the child is going to be someone great? What if the child in that family is something, a miracle necessary for that family? You never know. When you end their lives, before they can show you the unlock the potential that is there, there's nothing more valuable in this world than a child. Anybody that goes through the sacrifice and the care it takes to look after a young baby into adulthood, they know it, but they don't regret it. Sure, there are exceptions. It doesn't matter. Speaking only for myself, it's not a regretful act. It is the most sacred, powerful act of creation that human beings can make. There will be nothing I achieve greater in my life than the life of my son, the life of whatever children that I may have in the future. That capacity for creation is given to the human race to be great, to be to achieve prosperity. It is shameful nowadays that because of technology and because of what we have available to us, we seem to use this thing to make our lives easier, so that we don't have to sacrifice at all, so that we can be, living for the most superficial reasons and never anything deeper. But the truth is that when this is in effect, the population in the EU probably be dramatically reduced, because the capacity to have children will be, even if it was a conscious choice for the two parties to engage in intercourse, they don't have to have children if they don't want to, and they can limit it. It's here in Canada, we actually have a pill that can abort, I believe, up to 27 weeks. So it is reprehensible that the human race will take it upon themselves to decide. We seem to put so much emphasis on having a gay or trans family or a lesbian family or anything like that. I don't judge it. I couldn't care less what your orientation is. It's not my business. But it does mean that if you have the capacity, you have the obligation to raise children in this life, it used to be something that everybody in their guts knew. You work hard, you establish yourself, you establish your base, you find a woman to settle down with, and you have a family, you start a family, and you have as many children as you can manage. It's, to me, society has watered down the nobility of family, and in its place they've replaced it with something grotesque and evil that can only be resulting in the annihilation of the human race. Maybe not all of us, but the way that it is. I'll remember what Jordan Peterson said: the Madonna, the child, the mother and the child in its arms. Once a society loses the value in this, in that the society fails. Once you fail to value that which is pure and good, the mother and the son, if Mary had cut it out, let's say, hypothetically, maybe it could be done. Maybe she would die, but say she did it. Christ would never have come to man if she had not accepted her holy mission, her holy calling. There is a call to all women to be mothers. It is a noble, sacrificial, and the highest call a woman can receive. Something that when she grows old and she has no one, no children, there's something deeply regrettable in a woman like that. I've seen it. I've seen people that they are so unhappy in their old age. No, the gift of children is either they withheld it from themselves or some other reason. But when the woman is, say, barren, for example, it causes her regret all of her life to not have the capacity for children. They say maybe you can adopt, but it doesn't matter. As I see it, the child will still long for its birth parents when it grows up. And I even read about a family that they had a child when they had a summer of love, something like that, a fling, say, for a couple of weeks or something. The woman got pregnant. She gave birth. She gave the child into an orphanage. She couldn't raise it. The child found the parents went their separate ways and they married other people. The child tracked down both his parents, the father and the mother. After 50 years, he tracked them down. I mean, the longing for your blood is overwhelming. The family blood. It's there's something instinctual embedded in that. That's why it's something of the highest value that the West already discovered, which the radical left is trying to make us forget. I look with disdain upon this world as I see it. There's so much wickedness, so much evil, so many pretense of lying that people will give up everything in exchange for a little comfort, for laziness, for being soft. They'll give up the truth. They'll give up everything that our ancestors worked for till this moment that they offered us, and now they're dead. They can say nothing about it. But we are the stewards to look after what they left behind. And there's nothing. We've done nothing but abuse and abuse and abuse and push into decadence. Push into degeneracy. And the more that we push into degeneracy, the more creative they think of new ways, new creative ways to make us even more degenerate. Disgrace upon mankind. When did we lose our way? How come our common sense doesn't mean much anymore? This is a regrettable, terrible act. 73 million abortions per year. I don't know how precise that number is, but if that's the way it was before the law was passed, imagine how much more, how many more. That means about 49%, or pardon me, 50, what is it? No, it's more than that. It's 39% felt guilty about ending the child's life, or they did it on purpose and they intended to be pregnant. But either way, they didn't abort. So 61%. There's no conscience. There's no conscience. It's terrible. Where is your heart for your children? It doesn't matter if they're born or not. I know how simple it is. I've had that power. They offer it to us. When my son was 22 weeks, well, if you want to abort, if the fetus is not balanced, if there's potential for deformities or illnesses of any kind, then we can abort you at 25 to 27 weeks or 22 weeks or whatever. It's a big window. And they offer it to the mothers during a class, which I attended with my wife, and we went through it, and they offered it to us, and we're like, no thanks. And then they would offer again the following week, and like, no thanks. It's like low-hanging fruit. You really want to go through with this? There's all kind of manipulation tactics behind the scenes. Of course, the doctors, there were a couple doctors that were just so happy for us, and they would be very enthusiastic about the potential of the child, and we'd be excited about knowing the sex of the child and everything, and it was incredible. It was an incredible experience. And the more that my wife shows how she's pregnant, the more beautiful she appears to me somehow. I kept a lot of memories of it. I always photographed her and everything. She doesn't know it, but I photographed her sleeping, and she would be peacefully sleeping, and the belly would be there, and you can kind of see the belly, like the movement of the child within. It was lovely. There's a lot of sacrifice. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of sacrifice, there's so much work, but it doesn't matter. I keep envisioning him as a man. I can't wait to see what kind of man he'll become. This is for the women out there. You were once the treasure of humanity. You will always be the treasure of humanity, but only if you choose to be so. If you choose to be a tool of someone else's opinion, or some pseudo facts that they want you to believe to make you lower yourself. Remember your end. Remember your older years in that moment. Think about 20 years down the road, you don't have children. Think about it. What are you going to do with your life? You may say, oh, I have time, I have my career, I have everything, I have my ambition, but those only last so long. At a certain point, a woman feels a growing, something like a spirit or a growing power inside them that give them the desire to conceive. And it's nature. It's nature itself pushing you to give your gift to the world. It's hard for a woman. I know there are men out there that are not worthy. There are many of them that are. But it's something for you to consider. You can be so much more. Your family is an extension of yourself into the future. When they're alive and you're gone, they'll be, what you are will be a part of them forever, as long as your family continues. That's kind of like legacy in a way, but all of your knowledge that you wish to share, your personality, the children will remember that after you're gone. It becomes a part of them. There's no higher calling than the call to family. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching.